Roxbury is a dissolved municipality and a currently officially recognized neighborhood of Boston, Massachusetts, U.S. Roxbury is one of 21 official neighborhoods of Boston, used by the city for neighborhood services coordination. The city asserts that it serves as the heart of black culture in Boston. Roxbury was one of the first towns founded in the Massachusetts Bay Colony in 1630, and became a city in 1846 until annexed to Boston on January 5, 1868. The original town of Roxbury once included the current Boston neighborhoods of Jamaica Plain, Roslindale, West Roxbury, the South End and much of Back Bay. Roxbury now generally ends at Hammond Street, Davenport Street to the east, and East Lenox Street, Melnier Cass Boulevard to the south. The original boundaries of the town of Roxbury can be found in Drake's History of Roxbury and its noted personages. Those boundaries include the Christian Science Center, O'Brien School of Mathematics and Science, YMCA, Harvard Medical School and many hospitals and schools in the area. This side of the Muddy River is Roxbury, the other side is Brookline and Boston. Franklin Park, once entirely within Roxbury when Jamaica Plain, West Roxbury and Roslindale were villages within the town of Roxbury until 1854, has been divided with the line between Jamaica Plain and Roxbury located in the vicinity of Peter Parley Road on Walnut Avenue, through the park to Columbia Road. Here, Walnut Avenue changes its name to Sigourney Street, indicating the area is now Jamaica Plain. One side of Columbia Road is Roxbury, the other Dorchester. Melnier Cass Boulevard is located approximately over the Roxbury Canal that brought boats into Roxbury, bypassing the busy port of Boston in the 1830s. The neighborhood has recently added a new police station, improving response time, assisting its residents. This facility opened in 2011, and is energy efficient. Also assisting the community are programs such as the Child Services of Roxbury, the Youth Build Boston programs, and many more. New initiatives by the City of Boston have propelled the neighborhood of Boston to become eco-friendly. There has been development of new E-plus buildings. Along with the move into an eco-friendly community, each building is now mandated to provide accessibility to people with handicaps. The neighborhood has also formed community gardens and developed the first urban farm of the city in accordance to the adoption of Article 89, Urban Agricultural Ordinance. New construction plans have been approved by boards of the Boston Redevelopment Authority, and the construction of the new buildings and rehabilitation of old buildings aim at assisting those in need of affordable housing. Many of these homes are built on the Dudley Street Initiative Land Trust. This allows the homes to not fall into the market rate, keeping costs low for the people. Moving into new urban policies, there are plans for demolition of older buildings, resulting in construction of more homes in the Dudley section of Roxbury. Boston accepted the Urban Agriculture Ordinance, which is stated in Article 89. This provides framework for creating community resources for fresh produce, to be sold at low cost, and also to be donated to programs who help feed those who are in shelters or other care facilities alike. The community of Roxbury has many programs targeted at assisting the youth. There are programs that teach trades, programs that teach acting, different culture aspects and more. There are also many emergency response facilities in Roxbury who help underprivileged children in the area, such as youth centers and social service centers. The colleges in Roxbury provide services targeted for the community, including workshops. The college opens its doors for its main stage theater to all. When visiting Roxbury, one can enjoy museums, parks and recreation centers, Hibernian Hall, and there is also a film festival held annually. History. Early settlers of the Massachusetts Bay Colony established a series of 6 villages in 1630. The village of Roxbury has long been noted for its hilly geography and many large outcroppings of Roxbury puddingstone. which was quarried for many years and used in the foundations of a large number of houses in the area. The town is located where Boston was previously connected to mainland Massachusetts by a narrow isthmus called Boston Neck, or alternately, Roxbury Neck. Since all initial land traffic to Boston had to pass through Roxbury, it became an important town. Originally, it was home to a number of early leaders of the colony, including original Massachusetts Bay Colony treasurer William Pynchon, who left Roxbury in 1636 with nearly one-third its men to found Springfield, Massachusetts on far less rocky and more arable soil. Later, Roxbury was home to colonial governors Thomas Dudley, William Shirley, Increase Sumner. The Shirley-Eustace House, built at Roxbury during the period 1747 to 1751, is one of only 4 remaining royal colonial governors' mansions in the United States. The settlers of Roxbury originally comprised the congregation of the First Church in Roxbury, established in 1632. During this time the church served not only as a place of worship but as a meeting place for government. The congregation had no time to raise a meeting house the first winter, and so met with the neighboring congregation in Dorchester. One of the early leaders of this church was Amos Adams, and among the founders were Richard Dummer and his wife Mary. The first meeting house was built in 1632, and the building pictured here is the 5th meeting house, the oldest such wood-frame church in Boston. The Roxbury congregation, still in existence as a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association, lays claim to the historical founding, along with 5 other local congregations, i.e., Boston, Cambridge, Watertown, Charlestown and Dorchester, of Harvard College. Also, the First Church of Roxbury was the starting point for William Dawes' Midnight Ride, April 18, 1775, to warn Lexington and Concord of the British raids during the Revolutionary War. Population growth in Massachusetts led to Roxbury initially being included within Suffolk County at its formation on May 10, 1643. Due to demographic and economic differences between Boston and its nascent suburbs, on March 26, 1793, Roxbury was included when Norfolk County was established. As the Industrial Revolution continued, Roxbury became more integrated with Boston, leading to its annexation by Boston and return to Suffolk County. Lower Roxbury in 1868. Lower Roxbury, an ethnically diverse area that is part of the Roxbury neighborhood, was annexed to Boston. While it was politically and geographically isolated from Boston at the time of the annexation, Roxbury was the primary industrial area of the city. The upper-class society of Boston resided in the Highlands, while the working-class ethnic society consisting of Irish, German, Europeans, Jews and African Americans inhabiting Lower Roxbury. Lower Roxbury was once the name of the thriving area from Dudley Street to Tremont Street, with bustling businesses up and down Ruggles Street. Around 1965, one side of Ruggles Street was small shops and the other side was decorated with tenement-style and single-family housing. At the corner of Douglas Square and Tremont Street was one notable shop called People's Market, the first supermarket in Boston located in a black area. In 1986, Lower Roxbury was included in the 10 districts that attempted to secede from the city of Boston and become a separate city. The Greater Roxbury Incorporation project sought to create a 12.5 square mile city that included the entirety of Roxbury and Mattapan, as well as portions of Dorchester, Jamaica Plain, Fenway, Columbia Point in the South End that was to be called Mandela, after Nelson Mandela. In 1988, a referendum was defeated that would have examined the feasibility of reincorporation because the organizers of the movement believed that the area would flourish if they could create their own government that would not discriminate against minorities. Urban policy. As Roxbury developed in the 19th century, the northern part became an industrial town with a large community of English, Irish, and German immigrants and their descendants, while the majority of the town remained agricultural and saw the development of some of the first streetcar suburbs in the United States. This led to the incorporation of the old Roxbury village as one of Massachusetts's first cities, and the rest of the town was established as the town of West Roxbury. In the early 20th century, Roxbury became home to recent immigrants. A thriving Jewish community developed around Grove Hall, along Blue Hill Avenue, Seaver Street and into Dorchester along Columbia Road. A large Irish population also developed, with many activities centered around Dudley Square, which just before and following annexation into Boston, became a central location for Roxbury commerce. Following a massive migration from the south to northern cities in the 1940s and 1950s, Roxbury became the center of the African American community in Boston. The center of African American residential and social activities in Boston had formerly been on the north slope of Beacon Hill and the South End. In particular, a riot in response to the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. resulted in stores on Blue Hill Avenue being looted and eventually burned down, leaving a desolate and abandoned landscape which discouraged commerce and business development. Rampant arson in the 1970s along the Dudley Street corridor also added to the neighborhood's decline, leaving a landscape of vacant, trash-filled lots and burned-out buildings. In early April 1987, the original Orange Line MBTA route along Washington Street was closed and relocated to the Southwest Corridor. More recently, grassroots efforts by residents have been the force behind revitalizing historic areas and creating Roxbury Heritage State Park, a movement known as the Greater Roxbury Incorporation Project, led by Roxbury residents Andrew Jones and Curtis Davis, sought to form an independent municipality out of the Roxbury and the Mattapan area. The project was part of a larger goal to increase the amount of services available to residents. But in 1986, Boston Mayor Raymond Flynn rejected the idea. The area was to be named Mandela. The Boston Transportation Planning Review stimulated relocation of the Orange Line, and development of the Southwest Corridor Park spurred major investment, including Roxbury Community College at Roxbury Crossing and Ruggles Center at Columbus Avenue and Ruggles Street. Commercial development now promises reinvestment in the form of shopping and related consumer services. The Fort Hill section experienced significant gentrification when college students, artists, and young professionals moved into the area in the late 1990s and early 2000s. In the present day, there is much commercial and residential redevelopment. In 2014, a new tech incubator called Smarter in the City launched its initiative to encourage growth in Roxbury by cultivating startups in Dudley Square. Currently, the Boston Redevelopment Authority has cited 12 projects approved for construction in the neighborhood of Roxbury. The Bcorr project in Dudley Square calls for the demolition of a 10-unit building on Hampton Street, and the rehabilitation of 2 buildings. The final project will have 42 units available for affordable housing, with units ranging from 1 to 4 bedrooms. This construction of Dudley will revamp the look of the community. To improve the community's energy efficiency, E-Plus buildings are beginning to develop in the neighborhoods of Boston. In April 2014, on Highland Street, the construction of the first E-Plus building in Roxbury was awarded the LEED Platinum Award. The building is a part of the Boston E-Plus Green Building Program. In 2013, the City of Boston accepted the Urban Agriculture Ordinance, which is stated in Article 89. The neighborhood of Roxbury is grounds for the first urban farm and is larger than 12,000 feet. The farm opened in July 2014. The Dudley Street Initiative is an organization developed in 1984 servicing Roxbury and North Dorchester who focuses on community empowerment through educating the residents of the community. The DSNI is composed of 35 board of directors. The board of directors are made up of 16 residents which are African American, Latino, Cape Verdean, and white. Also there are 2 additional appointed residents, 4 youth representatives, 7 non-profit agencies, 2 churches, 2 businesses and 2 CDCs. The DSNI has 225 housing units on their land trusts currently. The DSNI Land Trust allows for the sales of low-income housing. The sale of the homes remain for those with low income as a result of the DSNI Land Trust housing units. In the next decade, the DSNI plans to build 250 new homes in what is known as the Dudley Triangle. Roxbury is subject to Article 80, a checklist for projects large and small to comply with people with disabilities. The article also includes improvements for pedestrian and vehicular circulation, new buildings and public spaces to be designed to enhance and preserve Boston's system of parks, squares, walkways, and active shopping streets. Ensure that persons with disabilities have full access, afford such persons the educational, employment, and recreational opportunities available to all citizens, and preserve and increase the supply of living space accessible to persons with disabilities. Demographics. Today Roxbury is home to a diverse community which includes African American, Hispanic, and Asian families, along with young professionals. According to the American Community Survey prepared by the Boston Redevelopment between 2007 to 2011, the Roxbury neighborhood has an approximate total population of 45,829 people. There are 21,116 males and 24,713 females. Of the total population, 33,182 are not Hispanic or Latino. White alone makes up 3,695 of the total population. There are 26,081 Black or African American people in the neighborhood of Roxbury. Asian alone is a total of 1,345 people. 2 or more races were reported by 1,054 people. Hispanic or Latino was reported by 12,647 people. Of the total population survey conducted, 31.2% minus 14,242 were ages 19 and under. 6,523 to 14.2% reported being 60 years and older. Of the 45,829 surveyed, 42,571 were over the age of 5. The language spoken at home was recorded. Between the ages of 5 to 17, 5,086 speak only English, 2,508 speak Spanish. Between the ages of 18 to 64, 17,040 speak only English. In this age group, 7,440 speak Spanish, and 2,696 speak other Indo-European languages. Those surveyed who were 65 years and over have 3,184 people that speak English at home, and 784 reported speaking Spanish at home. Educational attainment of the population 25 years and over was also surveyed. Of the 26,202, 19,744 reported earning a high school diploma, GED, or alternative and higher. Of the 26,202, 5,379 reported having earned a bachelor's degree or higher. Education. Primary and secondary school students in Roxbury are served by Boston Public Schools. BPS assigns students based on preferences of the applicants and priorities of students in various zones. Roxbury contains Boston Latin Academy, and John D. O'Brien School of Mathematics and Science, 7 to 12 secondary schools and 2 of the city's 3 exam schools. Roxbury Preparatory Charter School is a public charter school that serves grades 6 to 8 in the Roxbury neighborhood of Mission Hill. Roxbury Charter High Public School is located elsewhere in the area. Roxbury High School was once located on Greenville Avenue. Roxbury is also home to Roxbury Latin School, founded in 1645, which is one of the nation's top-ranked private preparatory schools for boys in grades 7 to 12. Colleges and universities. Roxbury is home to Roxbury Community College. Roxbury Community College is a coeducational public institution of higher education offering associate degrees and certificate programs. RCC's primary objective is to provide residents of the Commonwealth, specifically those individuals living in the Greater Boston area, optimum opportunity for access to a college education consistent with their interests and aptitudes, and to reduce to a minimum economic, social, psychological and academic barriers to educational opportunity, beginning in the fall semester from academic school year 2011 to 2013. Roxbury Community College has had an average female enrollment of 1761, and an average male enrollment of 868 in credit courses. Through the years 2011 to 2013, the school has had an average of 1,253 black students, 10 Native American Indian students, 52 Asian American students, 426 Latino students, 167 white, 10 non-resident alien, and 710 students enrolled reported their ethnicity unknown. Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary's Center for Urban Ministerial Education opened in 1976 at 12th Baptist Church. The campus has over 400 students. To accommodate the diversity of the school, classes are taught in English, Spanish, French, Creole and Portuguese, with occasional classes in American Sign Language. The Roxbury campus is represented by students of 21 different nationalities and 39 denominations. The college is located at 90 Warren Street, in Roxbury, MA. Emmanuel College's Spiritual Retreat Center. This center offers spiritual education to all staff and students for no charge. The center is designed to promote a relationship with God and explore your own spirituality. Further, the Eastern Nazarene College offers adult studies, lead classes in Roxbury, nearby in the Longwood Medical Area, which the City of Boston classifies as part of Roxbury, and the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, the Harvard Medical School, and the Harvard Dental School, plus various Harvard teaching hospitals. Public libraries. Boston Public Library operates the Dudley Branch Library in Roxbury. The branch, which opened in April 1978, replaced the Mount Pleasant branch, a library branch, and the Fellows Athenaeum, a privately endowed facility. Next to the Dudley Branch Library is the Dudley Literacy Center, which assists patrons who are learning English as a second language. It is the largest public library literacy center in the Boston Public Library system. The Grove Hall branch of the Boston Public Library, which was formerly located on Crawford Street since 1971, is now located at 41 Geneva Avenue in Dorchester, Roxbury. The branch is in a new facility that opened in April 2009.